practice test. Let's see. We're going to start here at the first graph, 1 through 4. Notice that the range and the domain, I kind of switched order here. So we usually do domain first and then we do range. So watch out for that. I didn't do it intentionally. It's just how it was structured. But we'll do the range first. So remember, we go the lowest value. The lowest y coordinate that we have for this particular graph is going to be -4. And it definitely touches right here. So we'll put a closed bracket. And as far as going upwards, okay, we have y coordinates coming from both sides here. We don't have a y coordinate here, but we do have a y coordinate of 1 over on this side. So we are covered. So we're basically going to go up to +2, but we're not going to include 2. Okay, so this is exactly what it should look like for range. The domain, since there's no arrow here, it is implied that it's a dot. I don't know if I told somebody to turn it into an arrow. If I turned it into an arrow, this would be -infinity. But it should be a dot, so maybe I misspoke. So we're going to go from -5, and we actually don't have a value here at -3. So technically we do have to stop, and then we have to jump over to the other side of -3 and keep going all the way to 4. And we will not include it because it is an open circle. So believe it or not, this is not just one piece here, it's actually 2 pieces. One going up to there, and then we've got the second piece going from open dot to open dot. Okay. Now where is this guy positive? He's positive from -5 to -3, and then he's positive also from -3 to -2. So from here to here, then from here to here, then he goes negative, and then he's positive from 2 to 4. Okay. All right. X-intercepts. X-intercepts are 1, 2, 3, where it intercepts the x-axis. So we have x equals -5, -2, and +2. If you wrote it like this, -5, 0, -2, 0, and 2, 0. Those are all perfectly legitimate answers, and I would accept either one. Okay. All right. So again, this should be a dot here and a dot here. There's no arrows. Okay. So the range for this guy, we do have the lowest value is actually 0, and we do have a closed dot there, so it's 0, and we have a value up until 2, but then it stops. Okay. There's no value in between 2 and 3. Then it takes over at 3 again, and it will stay 3. Okay, so that's the range. Notice that you can't have just one number. If it's a constant flat line like this, that's perfectly okay. Did I just do, yeah, that's the range, right? Yeah, okay, so now the domain goes from -4. Okay, we'll include -4. Then we're going to go over to 0, and then it stops, and then 0 takes over again. Now, because this hole is here, if it's filled in directly above it, we can actually just keep going with our domain. There's no gap here as far as the domain goes. There is a gap here with the range, but if I go to 0, there's a hole and it's filled in directly above it, we're actually okay. So I can actually go all the way to +4 and say that I have x values all the way going across from -4 to 4. Okay. Now where is this guy increasing? There's only one location. It's this piece right here. And we're going from -4 to -2, and then it stops. And then the y-intercept, there's actually only one. It's it's 0, 3. Or if you just put y equals 3, that would be totally fine. Okay. All right. Here, the graph of the parent function, absolute value. Okay, so he looks like this. Okay, and it just looks like this guy there. If he shifted to the left 3 units, okay, shifted to the left 3 units, and he shifted down 5, which one is the graph? So let's see, x plus, shifted to the left. Oh, none of these are right, are they? Oh, okay. You know what? I made changes to this one. I think I wanted to make this to the right. Yeah, I wanted to make that to the right. Because if he shifts to the left 3 and down, it's reflected across the x-axis. I totally missed that. Okay, so it's reflected. Okay, so this is a little different. So now we gotta reflect. Okay. Then he shifts over to the right the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And then he goes up, goes down 5. Okay, there. So we need this guy. Okay, he shifted right there. Okay, so there's no typo. All right, over what interval is this guy increasing? Okay, well, let's see what he looks like. He moves to the right 2, and he's going downward. Okay, so how is this guy increasing? Well, it's this piece right there. He's going from negative infinity all the way to positive 2, and then he starts to decrease on this leg. So as long as you understand these shifts, then we're good. That has got to be right here. That's B. Okay. Where are we at as far as time for this guy? At the 5-minute mark. Okay. All right, we'll do the average rate of change, and we'll stop this video. All right, so the average rate of change from -1 to 1 is all you've got to do is actually find the slope. If you have the graph, just find the slope from here to here. Okay. So we went up 2, and we went over 4. So it looks like the average rate of change is actually a half. Okay. Now, if you needed to use the slope formula, well, then it would look like this. M equals the first point. Okay, this guy would be x2, and it would be y2, and this guy would be x2, y2. Oh wait, these are going by 2's. Ooh, okay. Ooh, I'm glad I stopped that. Yeah. Ooh, this is tricky. So this guy's actually going by 2. So very important that I got the points here, because x2 minus -1, but y2 minus -2. So this is going to be different now, because we're going up by 2's. So that's going to end up being positive 4, and that'll be 2. So really, this guy has a slope of 2. Because when we went over, we're actually going a distance of 4, going up 4, and we're going across 4. Is that right? Up 4. Oh man, I'm getting a little confused here. So let's see. 1, 2, -1, -2. So yeah, 2. Is that a slope of 4? Over 2. Yeah, up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Man, I got no confidence today. All right, so now we've got a slope formula here. We know we're going from 0 to 1 to 0 for the slope, or 0 to 1, however you'd want to say it. It's x1, x2. So let's plug this in. So our second point is going to be, let's see, when I plug in the 0, I get 1. And then when I plug in a 1, I get 1 squared is 1 plus 2 is 3, 4. Okay, so now I get 4 minus 1 over 1 minus 0, which is 3 over 1. So my answer would be 3. All right.